Flames keep changing color, but I can't find you, but I can't find you. All the shadows running, leave me behind. All the shadows running, leave me behind.
At the end of part 2, we saw that nothing happened when I pressed the starter button. Well, that was only the beginning of that whole episode for me. The battery ran out in the camera again, so it's a new camera. Keep running out. I'll try and stay on top of it. But basically, I didn't give up at that point. I thought there must be a problem in the starting ignition circuit. But I have power, the engine moves, everything's ready to go, there's fuel in it. I'll bump start it. So I pushed it round onto the lane, ran pretty quick, leapt onto the bike, and I've never sat on this bike, not properly, certainly not moving. I didn't realise the seat was made of a steel toe cap and was reinforced by the tank, which is on the frame, and none of it has any give whatsoever. My testes felt like they'd been hit by a sledgehammer. Nonetheless, whilst nearly throwing up in my mouth and passing out, I managed to knock it into gear and bang the clutch out. Nothing happened. Tried this 8 or 9 times. Nothing happened. So I went back, prodded, poked, pulled, twisted, bent, wiggled, tried again, and all of a sudden it turned over. Voot, 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 but it didn't fire. Voot, 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 voot. It tried. A couple of times it tried. Didn't take long for the battery to die. Can't blame the battery. So I took it round and connected it to the car battery with some jump leads, with the car engine off. Tried again, and plenty battery power there this time. Voot, 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 voot. And it really, really tried. And I was wiggling and prodding and poking and moving things and twisting things, and it just wasn't going to fire. So I decided I would press some switches and dials, and one of the things I did in between trying it was I flicked the kill switch off and back on again, and from then on wouldn't go. So I thought, well, there's definitely an issue somewhere, maybe with the switching, maybe with something. I found that the ignition fuse holder was also brittle, much like the indicator one, and that snapped. So I bridged that, but it didn't make any difference. It did turn over, so the starter appeared to be fine. The switches appeared to be fine. The electrics appeared to work. But starter solenoid, I thought. Give it a clean, give it a kick. Didn't work. I gave up, very frustrated. I came back to it yesterday, tested the solenoid, and it does not work. As soon as I short out the points, the starter motor tries to turn. So I've ordered a new solenoid and it is on the way. So a new fuse holder to fit in the ignition circuit, new solenoid to fit when that comes in a couple of days, and then we'll try again on the starting. But for now, back to the bloody brakes. Still haven't done them. Just a quick point before I get to the brakes actually, something I did find when I was removing the solenoid is one of these bullet points. I have them exact same thing on my ST as it happens, and they're very, very handy. This was just connected through the loom, as it were, the terminal connections onto the battery with positive and negative rings, so I did actually notice that that was what was on the end. This was hanging down into the frame, into the bike. Guess which one they made the positive, whoever fitted it. That's right, the sodding exposed one. That must have been shorting on the frame the whole time, 1, killing the battery, and 2, possibly causing half the problems I've had. So should have checked first, I didn't, but I found that sod. Always make that one the positive. I know a lot of the time that is naturally the positive, but if you're fitting this end to the bike, at least use the insulated end if you're going to have it unplugged at any point. Right, breakage. I messed up a couple of ways taking off these calipers. First thing I didn't do was I didn't push the pistons out far enough. Obviously the pad's out on this one, I pushed it out quite far. I've done that because they really are stuck. That one's not quite so far. I took them off the first time I took them off I didn't crack these rear nuts. I didn't realise they were on the back. Didn't check properly again. So I had to refit them on these bolt holes so that I'd have something to press against to crack these bolts free. Did that, then I had to refit them the next time round so that I could use the hydraulics to push these out. So rather than fit them on the front, I just fitted each caliper and turn on the rear and then just bled it, because it's very simple with it all being quite close to hand, and from there pushed out the pistons. So I've taken out, it's crudded up in the bottom there, and this one's just filthy inside. I've taken them out on that one, so I'm going to get these pistons popped out, get them all cleaned, put that together, drill out that screw from the reservoir that's rounded, refill with some fluid, get it all bled, brake should be good. Alright, it's quite frustrating this, isn't it? Can't get that to come out. Got that one out. That's been had a little wipe but not cleaned properly. Won't come out. Won't come out. So out of the 6 halves or 6 pistons, I've got 3 out and 3 will not budge. So I took a break and managed to use a hammer and a screwdriver and tap out that screw with the reservoir that was sticking. So that's that job done. Just got to get that pistons to move out of the caliper halves. Right, I fucking hate brakes. Advice: I have 6 halves, 6 pistons, 3 have come out, 3 will not budge for anything. How do I do it? I don't want to put them all back together with 3 that are okay and 3 that aren't. It seems a hell of a lot of effort, and they're just going to move first, so it's going to be damn fiddly to get the seized ones to pop out further with the good ones moving freely. Tell me, people, how do you do it?